Mini skirt on, dip my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. Two foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, dip my body in glitter.
Hello. You're now tuned into the A Little Bit of Lot podcast. I'm your host, Kristen, and welcome back to another episode. It's the first episode of the new year, guys, and oh my gosh, I am feeling so excited and hopeful for what's to come in 2025. Like, I'm really ready to just shed 2024. It was a great year of growth. We had some tumultuous times, but your girl made it through. And we're about to go hard in the paint, no waka flocka, in 2025, for real. So, I figured that we would talk about, like, with, the new year, kind of talking about, like, New Year's resolutions that tie into, like, vision boards, because it had been on my mind for the past couple of weeks, because before my last session with my therapist, she sent me an email, even though we hadn't talked about it yet, like, ahead of time, about, a vision board. And she like sent me some resources, on TikTok with different girls that were making vision boards, whether they were digital, like on their iPad or phone, or physical, like on a piece of paper, clip outs, like clippings and stuff like that, like glue, the whole 9 yards. And I'm like, dang, like, I've never done a vision board before. So when we had our session, I told her, like, yeah, I saw your email, with the resources that you sent me about the vision board. And I'm like, I've never done one before. And she was gagged. She was like, what? I'm like, yeah. So it just made me start thinking about, like, dang, like, now that I'm getting older, I really feel like I want to start, the new year off from now on, like, with more intention. I feel like for the longest time, for some reason, I've always just been afraid to set goals because I'm always so scared of like not reaching them. So then it feels like, why put it out there or why say it? But I don't really think that's like the best, outlook on life. Like, I really want to be more, positive and more intentional about setting those goals. So she was like, yeah, I really think that you should try it. So it got me thinking about like, what is a vision board? Like, what is technically the definition? And like, before I got into making mine, I wanted to know like what goes into a vision board, what makes it a vision board, and like how does it help you? Like, what benefits does it even have, Because before I do anything, like, I'm gonna do my research, just because it's like, it can't hurt, it can't hurt to have a little bit more knowledge with what's going on, especially if it's something that you're gonna do that's going to, be an important start for your new year, and if this is going to become a tradition, I, wanted to make sure that I was like a little bit, educated at like the bare minimum line about it. So I felt like we could just talk about that. But before we get into it, of course, starting off the new year strong, thank you so much to everybody that is watching on YouTube. Last year was such a great year on YouTube, and I'm manifesting that 2025 is going to be another great year. So if you're watching this video over there, make sure you give this video a like, comment down below to let me know, are you into vision boards? What are your plans for the new year? Everything like that. And also make sure that you subscribe. Your girl is on her road to her first 700 subscribers. So I'll really appreciate if you click that button, smash that subscribe button, turn those post notifications on. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple, I appreciate you. Go ahead and rate that 5 stars and leave a review to let me know what you think about the show. Also, I forgot to mention that I wanted to talk about the Beyoncé Bowl. I feel like I cannot let any more time go on without me sharing my thoughts about that, because I wanted to know with my listeners how you guys felt about it, because oh my gosh, guys, like, I was really gagged. So we'll get into talking about vision boards, talking about the Beyoncé Bowl. So let's get into it. Y'all know Doja. So after my therapist sent me the information about the vision boards, when I looked it up, I found a Psychology Today article, because you guys that listen to my show know your girl is going to go to Psychology Today every single time. And the name of the article that I found is called "What is a Vision Board and Why Make One?" And basically, to sum up the article, it basically says that a vision board is essentially a mood board for your future goals. And it's all about creating a collage of pictures and quotes and words that align with your dreams and what matters most to you. So even though there isn't like a ton of research behind vision boards, they can promote self-awareness. They can help you visualize a positive future, boost optimism, which can then increase your chances of success. And the article also mentions different ways that you can actually make your vision board work for you, like how to make it work for you. And there's three major takeaways I would say from this. They basically say you should keep it real with your values. Focus on what's like legit important to you, not just what looks good and looks cool, like at its core. Like, what issues and things that people do you care about in your life? What aspects do you genuinely want to improve? Things like that. Like, really really look into your values and figure out your why. It says that you should think about what drives you and why the goals that you have matter so much in the first place. And you should also be realistic about what you can achieve. I thought that vision boards were like supposed to just be like totally delusional, but I think maybe it's kind of like a secret recipe of like 20% delusion and like 80% realism, maybe, because it's like, I feel like dreaming and hoping takes a little bit of delusion, right? Like at its core. So I would just stick to the 80-20 rule on that one. Like, do something and set goals that are realistic. So yeah, like that was really interesting to learn about with the vision board. And I would say that my experience with the vision board was like really, really fun. It was really, really nice to take a second to sit down with myself and think about all of these things. What matters to me? What do I want for the future? And not just like financially, but just like personally, with like my relationship with myself, growing as a person and just continuing to get better, with my healing journey and everything like that. So yeah, like I really had a lot of fun with it. And I also really liked seeing different girls on TikTok, what their vision boards looked like as well. So in the end, what I ended up doing, because I didn't feel like doing the physical one, was I just went on Canva and I just typed in vision board template. And I think that with Canva, even though since I'm a content creator, I have Canva Pro, I'm assuming that they have like templates on there that are for free as well. But yeah, I think the one that I used was like with Canva Pro. But either way, you should be able to find a template. And I picked one and then I just like customized it to my needs and changed the words, changed the pictures around, everything like that. And it was a lot of fun, like just doing that on my iPad. And I'm like, oh my God, like look at me getting like crafty, but it like felt so much more personal because it's like getting crafty about like my future. And I was like, oh my God, I was really excited. So I had a lot of fun making mine. And I also went as far as wanting it to not just be, visual once I was done with it, like on my phone to like look back at, but I also used the Walgreens app and then like ordered a poster print of the vision board once I was done with it on Canva. So that way I can bring it home. I got to go pick it up tomorrow and frame it and put it in my office so I can see it every day and like genuinely visualize and manifest like the dreams and goals that I have for myself. So I would highly recommend that if you can and you want to just be like a little extra with it, is printing it out if you do a digital version. I feel like for now I don't want to share with you guys what's on the vision board. I think I want to keep it personal for now, just because it's like I never want to introduce like potential negative energy onto my goals. And not saying that like my audience and the people who are like rocking with me for real are gonna wish me bad or put negative energy on me, but for those who like may come across this and don't support me and just want to randomly hate, like the world is weird. So nothing against the guys and the girlies and gays that are down for me. Like, love you guys, know you want the best for me, but for the haters out there, I see you. Okay. And I'm not going to let you put any woo woo on my goals. All right. So I'll say this: when I do accomplish the goals on the vision board, then I'll let you guys know what I checked off. So yeah, like I'm really, really feeling the idea of that. Let me know on YouTube if you're listening, or you could comment on Spotify if you guys like have that always been a tradition for you, and if so, how has it worked for you? Have you had good success with achieving the goals that you set on your vision board? Or let me know, like, are you now interested in starting one? And I also saw that a lot of people were like talking about the importance of like taking your time with it and making sure that you think of every single possible thing that you could like want to put on there. I got mine done within like a night, but I saw some girl say that it took her like 8 weeks to finish hers. It also doesn't matter like if you do it necessarily at the beginning of the new year. I personally want to do mine that way, but I saw somebody else say that like they didn't get theirs done till March, you know? So it really doesn't have to be specifically a New Year tradition. You could do it anytime that works for you. So if you are thinking about getting into it, don't feel like you have to be rushed. But I think it's something that could really, really help me, just stay focused and, like I said, be optimistic for once about my goals. Okay, so now we got to talk about the Beyoncé Bowl, guys. Oh my God. We're just going to get straight into it. This performance was honestly the best Christmas gift I could have gotten, okay? Like, the performance was absolutely incredible. It just makes me, I wrote down in my notes, so thankful to be a Beyonce fan in real time. Because, like, can you imagine if there's going to be children generations from now and they're going to be like, Mima, can you tell me what Beyonce was like? Like, they won't be able to be alive at the same time as Beyonce in the way that I have the privilege and honor to. Like, gaggy, gaggy, gaggy. Like, I am just so beyond blessed and thankful for that. I also feel like I can't remember if I talked about Cowboy Carter when it came out on the pod or not, but in case I didn't, I just feel like at the end of the day, it needs to be said, especially after this performance, that Cowboy Carter is more important for Black country artists than you know. Like, Beyonce literally said herself that she didn't feel welcomed in the country community, and she's Beyonce, right? So I feel like that says a lot. And I'm sure that there's other like Black country artists who are smaller who feel the same way and feel like even less welcomed. If Beyonce is literally just named the greatest pop star of the 21st century, and she doesn't feel like people are welcoming her when she tries to go across several different genres, then like what? If you can't go to Bella Noche, then what can you do?
Well, damn, if you can't go to Bella Noche, where the hell could you go?
And I feel like at the end of the day, the country community has just shown us time and time again, I wrote, that they don't want us there. Like, even as recently as like Lil Nas X and Old Town Road, that was something that I was just like, whoa. Like, it was blatantly obvious that they did not want him affiliated with the country genre, and I feel like it only got taken seriously as a country song after Billy Ray Cyrus featured on it. But Black country artists and Beyonce, at the end of the day, I feel like it's important that they're showing that they refuse to let anything keep them from creating the art that they want to create, and that's what's important at the end of the day. So, yeah, and I also just wrote down that I feel like Beyonce, at the end of the day, is also trying to tell us that country and being a cowboy and, like, cowboy culture is Black, because some of our ancestors were quite literally cowboys. And I think that this whole era just really should make people start thinking more about how Black people are American, Like, this country was quite literally built by Black people, and a lot of stuff in this country would not be possible without our ancestors. And for several generations of us, America, I should say, being America is all we know, you know? Like, we are so far removed from, like, the literal Africa, right? Like, all we know is American roots, American soil, because so many of us for several generations have been born here. And I think that really kind of just makes you want to look back at the American history of Black families, you know? I don't know. It's just, there's so many different nuances with this country album and Blackness that you can really think and reflect on and like personally relate to. Like, I could go on for days and days, but we're talking about the Beyoncé Bowl performance, okay? So at the end of the day, when she first started off with the performance, coming out on that freaking horse, like, girl, to give stable vocals going up and down, like literally bouncing on that freaking horse is insane. Like, the crazy phenomenal like vocalist that she is like, it can't be touched. Like, coming out on the horse singing live, girl, like, who else is doing that? And the fact that, you know, the lore with the symbolism of the horse, I feel like is something that needs to be said time and time again. The horse being white relates to this horse that is born Black, but then as it ages, it turns white. And I think that's her kind of trying to talk about the way that country music has aged. You know, it was started off as a predominantly Black thing and then has now turned into a predominantly white space. So yeah, and then I also really love the fact that she featured the other women in country on Blackbird. Like, that was everything. And then we go into Yaya. Like, oh my God, Yaya was so iconic. It's my favorite song in the album. And my favorite lyric is, "My family lived and died in America. Good old USA. Whole lot of red in the white and blue. History can't be erased." Like, yes, the song is upbeat, but the lyrics do have meaning. And like I said before, the blood of our ancestors has been shed in this country, and Black people have quite literally helped build and make America what it is today. So that's something that we need to be thinking about. And then, like, when she performs Yaya, and that's the first time that we see Blue, and she's like, "Hello, Beyonce." Like, no. Like, I was so incredibly proud of Blue, especially once we transitioned into My House. I was gagged to the 1000th degree seeing Blue eat that choreography up. And I've seen like this one video, I forget who the content creator is, where she was talking about how important nepotism is in the Black community. Because it's like, yeah, let's talk. We need to be taught. This is a conversation that needs to be talked about a lot more. Because why is it so okay for white people to benefit from nepotism, but then the second that Black people try to do the same thing, it's a problem? Like, I feel like at the end of the day, Black people do nepotism better. A lot of times in the white community, and like, no shade, no tea to any of my white listeners, like, we got to keep it a buck though. Like, a lot of times, like, when white people get handed down like their dad's, you know, corporation and their dad's business or their mom's business or whatever, like, traditionally it seems like they don't really have to work for it. But what Beyonce is doing and so many other like Black parents are doing, I feel like when it comes to the nepotism of it all, it's showing them like, at the end of the day, I'm not just going to hand this to you. Like, you do have to put in the work and you do have to show that this is something that you want. And Beyonce has talked about that, like, even in her Renaissance film, you know, like being worried for exposing Blue to this industry. But at the same time, this is something that she wants. And it's like, okay, get into it, yeah, you can, you know, go off, but I need to see that like you're committed to this at the end of the day. And to see how committed Blue has been every single time she steps on that stage with her mom is crazy. Like, just seeing her growth, even compared to the Renaissance tour to that performance. Like, she ate down. Her outfit was so cute. She had so much charisma and just like personality with like the little faces that she was making. Like, every single time we saw her and that camera was on her and she was in the background, like, face was gonna eat down. Like, I just love how much personality and passion that you can see Blue Ivy put into everything that she does with her mom. Like, period. And then I just, of course, love the like little details with like the denim truck during Levi jeans. Like, that ate down. And oh my god, like, her performing Jolene was so good. Like, it would have gagged me down boots if she would have brought out Dolly Parton. Like, oh my god. Like, if you're going to bring out a white person during the performance, I wish it would have been Dolly rather than Post Malone. Like, no shade, no tea to Post Malone. You know, he did what he needed to do on Levi jeans, but like, oh my god, like, the Dolly would have what the freak. We also can't forget to mention the opening with Mariah Carey. Like, oh my god, you guys know that I'm a Mariah stan, love her down. Like, it just never gets old. I don't care what anybody says. Mariah being the queen of Christmas is going to be something that I look forward to every single freaking year. I don't care how many times that woman performs that song. I want to eat it up every single time. Like, that is what Christmas is. Like, the joy and the like the feeling and just the positive warm vibe that you get with Mariah Carey Christmas songs. Like, she just captures the essence of the holiday so well. Like, how could you hate on that, you know? Like, and she's just aging beautifully. And I know people have things to say about her vocals, you know, not being what they used to be. But she, at the end of the day, still pushes through and gets it done for those albums and those performances, like, on that type of scale, you know? Because I recently saw, like, a clip going viral where she messed up, like, her "It's Time." And I'm like, ooh, but you know what? At the end of the day, nobody's perfect. And, like, give my girl a break. She's been singing the House Down Boots for how long? Before I was born. Literally before I was born. I literally had vocal cord damage. Like, it's life, you know? Nobody's perfect. Jeez Louise. Not everybody can be Beyonce. But she's Mariah, and that's all that matters. Like, I feel like not enough people are talking about the fact that, yeah, we had Beyoncé Bowl, but, like, we also had a Mariah Carey moment, and that was, like, very sweet and very cute and, like, fierce, right? Like, they should be lucky at the end of the day that they were able to get the Mariah and the Beyonce on the same night for the same game, the same event. Yeah. Was it crispy?
Have you ever had a Krispy Kreme? Have you ever gone to Krispy Kreme? Was it crispy?
No.
Yeah, right.
Ate down. But yeah, so at the end of the day, that's just what's been on my mind these last couple of weeks. Thinking about vision boards, thinking about Beyonce, thinking about Mariah Carey. One thing I've also been thinking about is my favorite thing of the week that I wanted to share with you guys. Guys, Krusty Cook-Off, the SpongeBob game on my freaking Switch, has had me in a literal chokehold. I've been seeing the girlies in the Switch community do different TikToks sharing their love for this game, and it's been like 3 black girls that I saw talking about the game, and I'm like, okay, at this point, this is a sign. I'm seeing after the third video, I'm like, let me look at this dang game. Let me look at it. Because at the end of the day, I love a SpongeBob game. I think it's SpongeBob Battle of Bikini Bottom. I played that game growing up on my GameCube, and they recently like redid the game and put it on the Switch. So that game is fun. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll try out the SpongeBob Krusty Cook-Off. Guys, I'm obsessed with this game. Like, oh my God. Like, when you first start the game, you don't even start working at the Krusty Krab. You start working at this little pancake, like, breakfast food stand that Mr. Krabs starts, like, outside of Squidward, Patrick, and SpongeBob's house. And the people of Bikini Bottom come and they get pancakes, and then you can, like, serve them pancakes, and you can have like different jelly options on there and like different toppings. And it's like gets pretty fast paced, and there are some levels that are like timed, and then they have like they switch it up to where you can do like a timed level. Then there's some levels where they're like don't burn any food or don't lose any customers. So you do have to be quick, but at the end of the day, it's like you are able to get lost in this game. And because it's so good and it's like so quick, I don't really have time to like think about anything else than what I'm doing at the moment. And I love escapism, right? So yeah, and I don't know if it's like still on sale by the time this episode comes out, but I got mine on sale, and I think I only paid like $5 for it. And then like after you finish like do so much time and put in so many hours into the pancake stand, then you move on to the Krusty Krab. And then I think you like go to some other location after the Krusty Krab. But the level that I'm at right now, I'm at the Krusty Krab, and I eventually like just unlocked the ability to add onions to my burgers. Because you can do like lettuce, and then I got tomatoes. Like you get like the toppings like as you go. So like, they don't like make you do all the toppings all at once, which is good, so you don't get like overwhelmed. But yeah, guys, I don't know, man. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. So like the SpongeBob Krusty Cook-Off hype is real. That game is really, really good. You guys really need to get it. Oh my God. Also, I'm like feeling a little bit down this week because, guys, update on the apartment situation. It's not looking too good right now. Like I told you the last time I had an episode that I was supposed to do a tour, and then the tour fell through on this place as well. I'm like, girl, what is the deal? Like, these leasing agents just literally don't give a crap about doing their job anymore. Like, y'all don't want to work. Y'all don't want nobody's business. Like, what is literally the tea? Like, I'm just truly trying not to get discouraged, because at this point, it's only a few weeks left until February, and then my lease is up. So I'm like, bro, what am I going to do? Like, is anybody going to let me in to look at the place? The freak? But, you know, I'm just going to try to make sure that I stay positive. Like, this will work out. We will find the place that's right for us. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So in the meantime, thank you guys so much for joining me. Happy New Year. I'm hoping that you guys have a safe and happy and like joyful, full, like prosperous year for 2025. Consider that vision board of it all. Watch the Beyoncé Bowl to feel inspired. You know what I'm saying? If Beyonce could put in the work, so can we, right? So can we. That needs to be like a t-shirt for my merch or something. Oh my God. And also, the day that I'm posting this, I believe my episode with Shalina from Everything 90s podcast is out. So be sure to check that out. We did the 90s versus 2000s dance trends. So I represented Team 2000s and Brittany represented the 90s. And guys, that episode was so much fun to film. I personally want to say that I feel like I tore. Brittany tore the house down boots too. But at the end of the day, like, I got to represent my team. I got to do what I got to do. And I personally feel like there was just so many good dance trends from the 2000s that it was like, I feel like it's like a no-brainer. 2000s deserves to win. So make sure you guys go listen to that episode, and I will make sure that I link it in the description, her channel and her information for her show, so you guys can listen to it and make sure that you vote for me. I think that she said the voting is going to be on Spotify this year. So I'll be sure to like give you an update on that on like my socials at A Little Bit of Lot Podcast on Instagram and on the community page on YouTube. In case you guys like are newer to the show, if there's any informations and updates that you guys need, I usually put it on the community page on YouTube or my Instagram. So be sure to check that out. But like I said, I'll put the episode or where to find her episode in the description. And I think we have like a week to vote. So the day that you guys are listening to this, you have until this upcoming Friday. January 10th, I think, is the day that voting would end, I assume, if it's a week that we get. But yeah, vote for your girl. Vote for your girl for the Teen 2000s. If you know better, you do better. So yeah, and like I said at the beginning of this episode, if you're listening on YouTube, give this video a like, comment down below to let me know what you thought about today's topics, and subscribe. Spotify, Apple, rate that 5 stars, leave a review to let me know what you think about the show. And with that, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Forward cause I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya.